Hello everyone, welcome to Mascot Concepts, the series where I create mascots for teams that don't have one. Today for episode 3, I will be creating mascot characters for the NFL team, the Washington football team. Washington is one out of the 5 teams in the NFL that doesn't have a mascot, but that's going to change today as I've created 3 different concepts for a Washington mascot. So without further ado, let's get started. And by the way, I will not be mentioning their former name at all in this video, as I don't want to be cancelled. I will, however, be mentioning their name choices, as these mascots sort of reflect these. Not all of them, but some. Before I share my first mascot concept, I should explain how I come up with mascots for teams without one. I usually think of the team itself. For example, I think back to their history, and do a little bit of research into what would represent them best. I also think of where they play at, that being the state or city, as well as merchandise, since some of these teams use a fake mascot in some merchandise. So with all that information out of the way, here's the first mascot concept for the Washington football team. So the first mascot concept I've created is already kind of associated with the team, at least when it comes to merchandise, that being a pig. Now what does a pig have to do with Washington? Well, aside from being used on merchandise, their offensive line is often referred to as hogs, not to mention their fans dress up as pigs at games. So with all that out of the way, here's the first design. This is the first design of a pig mascot. He has the nickname of Hogs. If you have a better name, please comment it down below. He is designed after this mascot statue, but I did make a few modifications. For example, he wears a normal old school football helmet, and he has red hair in the back. I did this because I wanted to include something red on his design, especially if they chose the REDHOGS name. I didn't want to make the pig red, as he would look too similar to the Arkansas Razorbacks mascots. And of course, I won't talk too much about the uniform, as it's just the normal Washington uniforms. Although each mascot has the number 1, although you can't see it on this one because he's holding the football. Overall, I really like the idea of a pig being their mascot, as it actually suits the team well, and not many sports teams have a pig mascot, so this makes them unique. However, if this stern guy doesn't do it for you, then maybe this version would. Here's Pig Mascot 2, also known as the silly version. He's basically the same as the normal stern version, although he has a few changes, just to make him different. For example, I made him fatter in the body and in the face, as I based it off this piece of merchandise. But instead of a helmet, I gave him a full set of red hair, as well as freckles. He's kind of giving me vibes of Porky Pig a little bit. I also changed his shoes to match the jersey that include a yellow feather design on each side. Overall, not too bad of a design, but I still prefer the other design from before. There's just something about this design that rubs me the wrong way. He's kind of creepy. But now we're done with the pigs, as we must now move on to the next concept. Now this next mascot I created may seem like a strange choice, but once I explain, then it'll make sense. That being a wolf. Now what do wolves have to do with Washington? Well, nothing really, other than one of the new name choices is Red Wolves, and it's a really popular choice. But this could work for any of the names. Also, I'm pretty sure people who work with the team often compare them with wolves in terms of aggressiveness. But with all that out of the way, here's the design. So here's my wolf design, and before you ask, yes, I did mess up on the nose, as I made it too long. But it was too late to change it, so I decided to just roll with it. Anyway, I colored him maroon and yellow, not only to match the team colors, but also to match some concept logos created by the team and by the fans, if the team gets the Red Wolves name. He also features black under his eyes, yellow paw pads, and white claws on his hands and feet, and of course red eyes. And like I said earlier, I messed up on his snout making it too long. If this was made into an actual suit, the snout would be way shorter. Overall, I do like a wolf being their mascot, despite a few mess-ups I had. I still think the pig is the better option, unless the new team name will be Red Wolves. I decided not to do a fat, silly version because the Chiefs, also a team associated with Native Americans, already has a fat wolf mascot, Casey Wolf, and he's amazing. So it would be weird to have two fat wolves in the NFL, even though Kansas City and Washington are in different divisions. However, if you don't like the idea of a wolf being the mascot, then this next one might catch your interest. The last mascot I created is probably the weirdest choice in this entire video, or possibly this entire series, which is why I love it. That being an armadillo. Now what in the world does an armadillo have to do with Washington? Well, nothing. But one of the names suggested as their new team name is Armada, which kinda sounds like armadillo, even though it has nothing to do with them. There are also no armadillos native to the DC area, but there have been armadillo sightings in Kentucky, Indiana, and Virginia, so them living in the capital isn't out of the question. But with all that out of the way, here's the design. Here's the design for the armadillo. As you can see, I kinda took some inspiration from Andy the Armadillo from Texas Roadhouse in terms of the design. By the way, if you want to learn more about Andy, then check out this video here, link in the description. Anyway, here's the head. I gave him a huge grin like Andy, but I decided to give him red eyes too. He's also got the same helmet as the pig. The body isn't anything too special other than having yellow arms and legs with pointy feet and maroon lines all over them, along with a huge tail. I got kinda creative with the armor and made it into a vest jacket thing that goes over the jersey. Overall, an armadillo is a very strange choice, but once understood, it's very creative. Armadillos rarely ever get used as mascots. There's only Andy, this World Cup guy, and this dude who destroyed the San Diego Chicken in a dance-off. And on that note, this concludes my Washington football team mascot concepts. And there you have it. Mascot concepts for the NFL's Washington football team. I know that some Washington fans may not actually want a mascot, especially due to the controversies, and I can respect that. But don't get mad at me, this video is just for fun. However, if anyone working for the Washington football team is watching this, please consider getting a mascot. It'll definitely help you. I should also mention that I'm not going to do another episode when they do finally change their name, as these mascot concepts can pretty much be used no matter what the team name is. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next month for another Mascot Concepts episode. Bye-bye!